The Legislative Council approved $33 billion of funding to assist employers after the abolition of the MPF offsetting scheme. Hospital Authority announced new measures for improvement after a series of blunders. And China extends visa-free travel for countries including Japan and Romania. Good evening and welcome to TVB News. The Legislative Council's Finance Committee approved more than $33 billion to financially assist employers after Nick May's abolition of the MPF offsetting arrangement.
I
declare this proposal approved.
Chen Chunying, who chairs LegCo's Finance Committee, announced the decision was passed this afternoon. Starting on the 1st of May next year, employers can no longer use the mandatory provident fund to offset employees' severance or long service payments. During the first 3 years of the new measure coming into force, employers must effectively pay their employees at maximum of $3,000 if their severance or long service payments do not exceed $500,000 owing to government assistance. However, employers will have to pay half of the total amount if severance or long service payments exceed $500,000. The new measure will remain in effect for 25 years, during which authorities expect there will be around 90,000 applications in the first 3 years.
The Hospital Authority's Review Committee on the Management of the Public Hospital System proposed 31 suggestions in a report released today, after conducting a review of recent hospital-related incidents. The report was delivered at the start of last month, with the body's chairman, Henry Fan, pointing out several issues, including the lack of clear safety-related instructions and staff familiarity with safety knowledge. The committee also found that after the incidents, patients, their families, and hospital staff were not alerted in time. Fan said many of the younger staff lacked training and were afraid of notifying their superiors. He added he will set up a separate committee to follow up on the matter. Former media tycoon Jimmy Lai took to the stand to defend himself in his national security trial for the third consecutive day. He said he wrote more than 10 articles in hope of obtaining the United States support, but denied requesting other countries to sanction China and Hong Kong. Speaking in court, Lai said one such article written in October 2019, titled "What the Americans Want to Tell Us," was a response to questions by then-associate publisher of Apple Daily, Chen Pui-man. It said in order to get the support of foreigners, it is necessary to lobby them persistently. Lai said the content of the lobbying is not to incite, but to promote the anti-extradition movement so as to get overseas support. Lai said he had no intent to incite hatred against the central and SCR government through his articles. Starting next year, the Social Welfare Department is planning to mandate recipients of the Cash Welfare Scheme, the Comprehensive Social Security Assistance, or CSSA, to engage in unpaid work until they re-enter the workforce. The scheme pertains to unemployed individuals aged 15 to 59. Around 270,000 residents are currently recipients of the scheme, while 60% of unemployed recipients are below the age of 60. The new employment support scheme is set to replace the existing Employment Support Services program, which is set to end in September next year. Some lawmakers voiced concerns about unpaid labor and suggested the possibility of providing such individuals with a special cash allowance. President Xi Jinping made a brief visit to the Kingdom of Morocco and met with its Crown Prince, Moulay Al Hassan, in Casablanca. It came after he wrapped up his state visits and the G20 summit in Brazil. Danny Zhou reports.
President Xi, along with his high-level delegation, landed in Morocco on Thursday. They were greeted by the Crown Prince and head of government. Morocco's state media said the visit was a reflection of strong bonds of friendship, cooperation and solidarity, consolidating the two nations' strategic partnership forged in 2016. Located in North Africa, Morocco is near the western tip of Europe. Given its free trade agreements with the US and the European Union, it has become a new hotspot for Chinese businesses looking to extend their reach further westward. China has ramped up investments in Morocco's infrastructure and railway projects in recent years. Earlier this year, the Goshen High-Tech Group started work on building a huge battery factory in the city of Kenitra in northwestern Morocco. The factory is the first of its kind in the Middle East and North Africa region. Danny Zhou, TVB News.
China will expand its visa-free access to visitors from Japan, Bulgaria, and other countries, effective from the end of this month to December 31st, 2025. From November 30th, China's visa-free arrangements will include Japan, Romania, Bulgaria, Croatia, and other countries, a Foreign Ministry spokesperson said Friday. It will also extend the visa-free stay period to 30 days from 15 days for citizens of all 38 countries within its visa-free program. China has previously granted visa-free arrangements for South Korea and some European countries to boost tourism and trade. Russian President Vladimir Putin has warned the U.S. and its allies that the defense systems supplied to Ukraine will be powerless to stop the Kremlin's new missile. Putin said Russia fired a new intermediate-range ballistic missile, or IRBM, at Ukraine on Thursday in response to Ukraine's use this week of American and British missiles that can strike deeper into Russia. Putin said the new missile flies at 10 times the speed of sound. Nazvi Karim with more.
Black and white closed-circuit footage of multiple explosions in what Ukraine says is a region of Dnipro. Kyiv initially said it was an intercontinental ballistic missile, or ICBM, fired by Russia, which has a range of at least 5,500 kilometers. Such a launch is unprecedented in the 32-month war, but it is something Russia denies. Russian President Vladimir Putin, in a statement and address to the nation, said it was an experimental intermediate-range ballistic missile, which travels shorter distances of 1,800 kilometers or more. He said the hypersonic missile named Oreshnik carried a non-nuclear warhead and, along with other strikes, targeted Ukrainian military facilities in Dnipro. The attack, Putin said, was in response to Ukraine's use of US-made ATACMS long-range missiles and British-supplied Storm Shadow missiles that targeted Russian territory. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said Russia is escalating the war with its latest move. Zelensky has been desperate for long-range weapons to penetrate deep inside Russia, with his troops rapidly losing ground to Moscow's forces in the east. The White House criticized Russian aggression.
The escalation at every turn, at every step, is coming from Russia. They're the ones who are escalating this. They're the ones who started this war. It is because of their aggression into a sovereign territory, Ukraine.
Still ahead, the International Criminal Court issues arrest warrants for Israeli leader. State-of-the-art monorail in China's Wuhan city. And the Hong Kong AI Innovation and Technology Training Center is launched today. Welcome back. The International Criminal Court, or ICC, issued arrest warrants on Thursday for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, as well as a Hamas leader. The warrants said there was reason to believe Netanyahu and Gallant used starvation as a method of warfare by restricting humanitarian aid and intentionally targeted civilians in Israel's campaign against Hamas in Gaza. Tracy Furness has more.
The ICC accused Netanyahu and Gallant of being responsible for attacks that caused widespread harm to Gaza's civilian population, preventing access to medical treatment and employing starvation as a weapon of war. Experts say hunger has become widespread across Gaza and may have reached famine levels in the north of the territory. A warrant was also issued for Mohammed Deif, the head of the armed wing of Hamas, over the October 7th, 2023 attacks that triggered Israel's offensive in Gaza. The court said it believed Deif was involved in murder, rape, torture and taking hostages. The warrants come as a death toll from Israelis campaigning Gaza passed 44,000 people. Netanyahu condemned the decision by the International Criminal Court to issue arrest warrants for him and Yoav. The House also rejected the ICC's decision to issue arrest warrants for Israel's senior officials.
Let me just say more broadly that we fundamentally reject the court's decision to issue arrest warrants for senior Israel officials. We remain deeply concerned by the prosecutor's rush to seek arrest warrants and the troubling process errors that led to this decision. The United States has been clear that the ICC does not have jurisdiction over this matter. There is no evidence, none, between Israel and Hamas. There's just none.
The warrant marked the first time that a sitting leader of a major Western ally has been accused of war crimes and crimes against humanity by a global court of justice. Tracy Furness, TVB News.
North Korean leader Kim Jun said his past negotiations with the United States only confirmed Washington's unchangeable hostility toward Pyongyang. Kim also described his nuclear buildup as the only way to counter external threats. Kim spoke Thursday at a defense exhibition where North Korea displayed some of its most powerful weapons systems, including intercontinental ballistic missiles designed to target the U.S. mainland, according to the North Korean Central News Agency. While meeting with Army officers last week, Kim pledged a limitless expansion of his military nuclear program. Kim has yet to comment directly on Donald Trump's re-election as U.S. president. As president, Trump held 3 highly orchestrated summits with Kim in 2018 and 2019. Diplomacy collapsed over disagreements in exchanging the release of U.S.-led economic sanctions and the North's steps to wind down its nuclear program. It is reported that China will build a deep-water port in East Nicaragua as it sets sights on maritime infrastructure development on the Caribbean. After years of planning, China's CAMC Engineering recently signed an agreement with Nicaragua's government to construct the Bluefields deep-water port on the Atlantic coast. Earlier, Nicaraguan President Daniel Ortega said in a summit that Panama Canal is facing water flow shortages and offered China the proposal to construct an interoceanic canal that passes through Lake Managua. And the Bluefields port will reportedly serve as the prospective starting point of the new route. Nicaragua's presidential consultants said the project would foster further development and prosperity of its country. It will also create job opportunities and contribute to poverty reduction. China's first self-developed commercial suspended monorail, which started operation in Wuhan 1 year ago, has completed 2 million passenger trips. Also known as the Optics Valley Photon, the monorail operates for 12 hours every day at a maximum speed of 60 kilometers an hour. Danny Zhou has the story.
In Wuhan, capital of the central Hubei province, science fiction movies become reality as the 24-meter-long Photon Skyrail strolls through the air. Using magnetic levitation technology, the unmanned train operates underneath an elevated track and offers a unique perspective of the cityscape from the glass-bottomed carriages. It went into operation in September 2023 and can carry up to 200 passengers. Riders can enjoy the clouds and blue sky on the ceiling, which add a natural touch to the decor, while the ecological corridor is under their feet. Some passengers said it's novel to see panoramic views of the scenery outside as well as the crowds and traffic below. Miss Xiao, a passenger from Hunan, was thrilled to see the Rainbow Bridge in the Optics Valley. She said it can serve as a tourist spot to attract more visitors. Each train ticket is priced as 30 yuan. The line has 6 stations and stretches as long as 10.5 kilometers. Construction of the train system began in mid-2020, and it took 2.5 years to complete. According to a spokesperson for Wuhan Optics Valley Tourism and Investment Company, windproofing was the technical priority when they designed the train. He also said the train has integrated the styles of the now trending cyberpunk, artificial intelligence, and metaverse. Danny Zhou, TVB News.
Back locally, a launching and signing ceremony for the Hong Kong Artificial Intelligence Innovation and Technology Training Center was held at Cyberport today. The center is a project by Baidu AI Cloud and Hong Kong Tianfan Technology Company. Training and teaching programs will be launched in the center by 2025. Mo Sinai reports.
In his policy address, Chief Executive John Lee said the government will focus on developing new quality productive forces as a way to turn Hong Kong into an international INT hub. Plans include launching a $10 billion INT industry-oriented fund to gather more market capital for investment in emerging industries, including life and health technology. Speaking at an event to celebrate the establishment of the Hong Kong Artificial Intelligence, Innovation and Technology Training Center, John Lee said AI is a major part of the INT sector, and the center will help the industry's advancement. The CEO also said Baidu AI Cloud is among the first batch of strategic companies introduced in Hong Kong, and the operation of the center will require the cooperation of local and mainland experts. Apart from providing training activities, the center will also work with the University of Hong Kong to act as a learning site for AI course students. The co-founders of the site, Baidu and Qianfan, said local students will be able to learn from top mainland AI experts through exchange programs.
The technology company said the training center aims to collaborate with more education institutions in future to promote INT development in the city. Memos 9, TVB News.
With December 25th just over a month away, a Christmas market has opened at West Kowloon Cultural District. The market will run until January 1st, 2025. This Christmas tree is more than 20 meters tall. Apart from reindeer and presents, typical Christmas decorations, a giant panda installation can also be seen at the market. Organized by the Hong Kong Tourism Board, this year's festive market is 3 times bigger than the previous year, with 30 stalls being put in place. And that's the news. Thanks for watching.